So as much as we say, you know, we may not want to try our hand at different things because we don't know how it will turn out and all the excuses we may have, we're just kidding ourselves. And who are we really kidding but ourselves? Because at the end of the day, no one else really cares if you succeed in your private project, but you don't hurt anyone by failing your private project. You hurt you. So all of your friends that may tell you, oh, you know, you should do something else, while they do their private thing, you know, you're what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that people will always give you advice that suits their personality. Now, don't get me wrong, it is not a bad thing that people offer you advice, it's quite a good thing. You know, you want your friends to offer you advice, you want your friends to be there for you and with you along your journey, but excuse me, the fact is that it's your journey, and although they may be able to say to you, well, you know, I think this may be best, you just need to take that for what it's worth. It's just consideration. It is literally not for you to take that and do exactly what they say, because they're not them and they're not you, and more importantly, they're not in your shoes and they don't know how you have to do what you have to do to get where you have to be. So yeah, they may come and they may offer all the advice in the world of what to do and how to do it and what's best and what's not best, but you still have to make up in your mind that, hey, you know what, I think that I'm gonna do it this way. All right, for example, I've had many different opinions on how I should build a pigeon loft. Now, bearing in mind, guys, this is not what I consider one of my high-end thing projects. This is just literally a shack that I had. It had some loose wood. I mean, it still has loose wood still thrown in the corner of it. That's what it had for the longest while. I'm talking about, this was here for probably like 4 months, just sitting doing absolutely nothing. So I told myself, hey, you know what, I'm gonna bring some pigeons up the road. I'm gonna put some pigeons in it. I can design it. I can do what I have to do with it. And it started. My voice might change a little bit as it may echo off the walls and stuff, but bear with me. So in here now, I decided to set up a lofting system. To me, it's pretty decent. So we have 2 across, because this is only about 4 feet wide by 7.5 feet deep, or should I say 7.5 feet wide by 4 feet deep. It's just slightly smaller than a plywood sheet. So we have four boxes down, 4 nesting boxes down, lofting boxes down, and 2 across. That is what the space will do. Now each of these boxes are 2 feet wide by 18 inches deep, and they are 15 or 14.5 inches tall. Now this is, in my opinion, more than enough space for an adult pigeon. People in the States do the lofting boxes with much less. I'm working the best that I can with the space I have. So what I started to do is I'm using wire. Wire is easily accessible here. So I'm using, again, the same, this is actually leftover wire from the dog kennel that I built, the whelping box. So I'm using this to do the fronts for the loft area. Now my idea of the front is, this is almost finished. All I have to do is put the door on it. My idea for the nesting loft, the private nesting loft, is that this is 4 inches deep. This area here is 4 inches deep. Still comfortable for a bird to loft on it, sleep on it, to roost on it, to land on it. Still comfortable. So that leaves me 14 inches from the inside of the wire to the back of their box. That would leave me a comfortable 14 inches. Now the average nest bowl is 10 inches, either circle or square. so that still gives me a good 4 inches off, so they can nest comfortably, they can move comfortably. I can still hang, if I need to, I can still hang a water bowl. Like if I lock them away, I can still hang a water bowl, a feed tray on the inside of their nesting loft privately. Now the whole idea is that after a while I'm gonna bring the birds down. I actually have some pigeons home where I live, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring cocks first. I'm gonna release them in here when all of the wire is on. All the wire is not on, obviously, as you can see. I still have to build a door onto it, but when all of the wire is on and the place and the loft is complete and ready for the prisoners, then I'll bring down cocks only. The idea for bringing the cocks only is that I want them to choose their nesting area, because once they choose their nesting area, then they will be comfortable in it, they'll protect it, and they will nest best in it, right? My plan is only to bring 3 cocks, so that leaves them more than enough room to be settled on which boxes they want. However, I am not going to do that until all of the wiring is done. When I say the wiring, I mean the fronts. I'm not going to bring any birds here until all of the wirings are for the fronts are done and they have doors on them. The reason for that is that I really do not want that birds choose boxes without wires, because then that means that I'll have to disturb them to put the wire on it for them to nest in that box, and there'll be no telling that they will want to nest in that box after the wire is on. So the wiring has to go on first, with doors, with everything complete. Then I will decide, boom, now I'm ready to bring the birds, let them loose in here, open all of the doors. All of the doors for the nesting boxes will be open when they first come, so that then they can go in and out comfortably. I guess the better cock, the strongest cock, the more dominant cock, he will choose whichever place is his. He will fight for it. The younger cocks, the more inexperienced cocks, will then choose second, third, fourth, etc, etc, etc. Now this loft in the long run will be just a loft that in the pigeon world they call a prisoner's loft. And a prisoner's loft simply means birds that will never fly at your property. In other words, the birds that I have at my house where I live, they were born at my house, they will fly at my house, but they will never ever but they will always return to my house. So if I bring those pigeons here, they will never stay here, they will always fly home. That's what racing homers do. So the idea is I bring them down here as breeders, as prisoners. They will be locked in here, they will not fly from here, those will not fly from here. When those birds get chicks and those chicks are flying age, then those chicks will be the birds that fly from the farm. Again, for the reasons pigeons fly back home, and home is where they are hatched, right? Now this board here is a training board. This is the board that the birds will, when they're coming back home, they will fly to this board and enter through this gap, this smaller gap. This bigger gap is their exit gap. So when they're inside, there will be a door to open the door here, and they will fly out through this off this ledge. They will fly out of this door. This door will be reclosed, and they will enter through this door, enter through a trap, and they will be locked securely inside the loft again. So I designed that with drawbridge chains, so that we just push it up. For now I just have a simple nail, because I haven't quite fixed up everything yet, so I just have a simple nail there to hold it up. But that's how it will be locked up on evenings or nighttime, or when the birds are not flying. The door will have to come on. It's an easy door, again, because I'm not the only person operating and or dealing with some of the animals. I have made it easy for even my wife and children to come and try to deal with them. So at the bottom here I have created what is a feed trough. I will put a door on this too, that it will lift up with a lid. The lid will come all the way down here in case it rains. The water will run all the way off, but it will have a lid, and they will be able to come, pour the feed down in it. They won't have to worry about the pigeons escaping because there's wire on the inside which will stop the birds from getting out, squeezing through here and getting out into obviously the open. So that is a secure way of making a feeding trough, and this should comfortably feed the amount of birds that will be in here. Now my idea is that maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe around 20 birds will fit in here comfortably, excluding the ones that will be in their nest boxes. We'll see how it goes because I do not like overcrowding pigeons. They become very territorial. They believe in their lofts, so if they have a certain loft, they fly back to that loft, and that's how a pigeon, that's how they work. So I don't like overcrowding pigeons. So if it means that in here will only hold 12, well then so be it, until I build a bigger, better loft. But again, this was never really meant to be a huge loft. This was just a place I had a lot of ends of woods a lot of ends of wood stocked around, probably a couple tools and stuff that I decided over the last week again to, you know, do something with it rather than just let it sit here and do nothing. So here's the pigeon loft. Now again, for an amateur, I'm quite proud of myself and what I have accomplished here with this loft. I am no farm or fashion, and throughout my videos you will hear me saying that I am no farm or fashion, a builder. So what you see me do here is really, you know, out of my territory. It really is out of my territory. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and get some work done before I lose daylight, so I can let Chaos back out. I'm gonna probably get him some exercise a little later this evening. I'm gonna go and repair, make it his house now that he's locked up. I'm gonna fix this up really quick. I'm gonna put and then I'm gonna put some more work in on the loft behind the truck. I'm gonna put some more work in on that. See how far I get this evening. I'll check back in with you a little later just to show you the progress that I made. Alright, so we're back here again. It's the afternoon time. I had talked to you guys about doing a couple of projects. I did not manage to get all of those projects done at all, but I got some of them done. The one about digging the trench going back to the front of the farm definitely did not happen. The sun was really hot, and it was a lot more work than I thought it would have been. There's a lot of rock, a lot of roots because of the grass that's growing there. So I think I'm gonna have to get a friend of mine to probably come with a backhoe or excavator actually and dig that trench for me so that I can just lay the pipe and it'll be much easier on me physically. Another one of the projects that I did mention that I was going to do is Chaos Kennel. As you can see, Chaos is out. So I tried to do up his housing area. He wasted no time, of course, in making that his own. He actually tore down a lot of the boards. I had boards all to the front on the left side here, but he took all of those off. He likes to bite. He's a very hard mouthed dog, so he bit up all that. It's Chaos. He bit up all of that. I redid the floorboards on the inside. I did all the floorboards on the inside. He had actually no floorboards on the inside whatsoever, so I refaced the inside of the boards. Created a little door. I took off the wire from the front so that he can enter from that side, and he seems to like it. So that was definitely a plus on that end. So Chaos is he's now comfortable in the front here. No longer has to depend on just the back kennel. He has the option of going in the back kennel or staying in the front, however the sun takes him at the point in time. So another piece of project that I wanted to work on was another piece of the project I wanted to work on was getting the kennel, well, I guess oil coated. I managed to get that done. Nike. Nike. Good girl, Nike. Right, so I managed to get the kennel hair oiled, and I actually did a water test too. The water test. What's supposed to happen is, you know, wood is very water absorbent. So after I did it, I tested it, and as you can see here, the water actually did bead up on it, where you can see all the water particles are sitting neatly on top of the board. I can actually take my hand and brush it away. See how that's working? So it actually worked how I would like it to work. It is not as, of course it will absorb some still, but it's not as water absorbent as it was in its raw state. So I feel good about that. The whole floor is done. The walls of the box are done. The outside door is done. The top is finished. The inside pillars on the inside there, they're finished also. The side wall is also finished here. I did a little sprinkle test here too, as you can see, and that seems to be working exactly how I wanted it to work, which is great news for me. So I don't have to worry about the wood weathering too quickly over time. It will stay up against the rain and a lot of the elements a lot longer. Still have to do this side and the back side. The back side may be a little tricky to do. I have to squeeze myself in between the pallet there and get that done, but I'll get it done. I'm gonna run a coat across the top just for longevity of the wood, across the beams here, and then that should be it. I might throw on another coat on the floors just to ensure that if I have to wash it down, it's not too much water being absorbed directly into the wood, so that it will last a lot longer. I'm hoping that this lasts me for a good couple of years without me having to do too much major renovation. I have to actually see what happens when the dogs get in there. They're all American Pit Bull Terriers, so they're very mouthy. They like to chew, they like to bite, they like to break. So I have to see how that's gonna run me. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to reinforce the hole, probably get some 1x4s or 1x3s, and just put like a framing around the hole, so that stops them from biting away that plywood sheet too quickly. Everything else should be safe and secure. So those are the projects that I got finished. It's not much more to say. It's just a lot of oiling that I did. I actually did a little bit of oiling over in the Pigeon Coop too. It's not much to see. When I do a little bit more in there, I would keep you guys posted and let you see as it goes. Nike. Keep you guys posted as to how things are going as I do them. As I make progress, I just keep you up to date. I'll try to post as much as possible. My job keeps me really busy, but I'll try to keep it running as much as I can, keep you up to date on my successes and my failures, because I want to show you both, so that probably if you're thinking of doing this kind of stuff, you can avoid some of the areas which I didn't know I had to avoid, and in that sense save a lot of time, energy, and of course the most important part, saves you a lot of money, because a lot of my errors it cost me. It really did cost. Again, learning phase. I think I'm slowly but surely getting over it. I'm learning how to use as much as I can, learning how to piece together things, still as best as I can, but with little with little resources as I can possibly scrape up. The animals are most important here on the farm, so I want to make sure and ensure that they have the best quality of everything: feed, health, what's not. My vet usually comes by. He usually comes by and he sees the dogs and whatever, the rabbits, just to make sure that their health is up. If they need any shots, if they need any worming medicines or anything, he would advise me as to what to do. So it's not like they're just dogs being kept out in the open for nothing. They always have clean water and a shelter. As you see already, I talked to you already about Kiosk. Kiosk has 2 shelters. He always has a bowl full of water, so they're never left without food or water. They're fed twice a day, which is not necessary for adult dogs, but I do it anyway, keep their energy up, to keep their strength up, because the days are usually really hot, and the sun will drain them. So that's it. I'm gonna be taking a lot more videos, trying to piece them together, make them make as much sense as possible as I move about, as the farm grows, so that you guys can see that it has come from nothing to something, and that is all in progress. And hopefully it can inspire at least one of you out there to start your own thing, do something that is for you, even if it's not to make money. It's for sustainability and for financial freedom, that you don't have to go into the supermarket and buy every single thing. I mean, here I don't have a green finger, but my wife plans on doing some garden beds, so that we can have some vegetables growing on the land too, not just animal produce, not just meat, but to have some kind of vegetables growing, so that we can almost have an entire meal growing here on the land. And that way we can cut back on our expenses in the supermarket or in the grocery store, a lot. We want to get our sons into eating healthy, eating ground provisions, learning how to live off the land. Again, not just for money, not just for making money, but just to be self-sustainable, not to depend on the supermarket to have. You learn to grow your own, use your own, and again, be your own. So with that, all that being said, it's a lot of hard work. All the building is hard work, but at the end of the day, if the benefit is, it's all yours. The benefit is it's a happy life. It's challenging at times, but happy nonetheless. So hopefully I can inspire someone out there to do something similar. Use the space you have, whether it be just your backyard or 100 acres. Use the space you have. Try to do something for yourself. Grow, use, be. So until the next post, I'm just gonna see what other projects I have to do around the farm, finish feeding, and I'm out for the evening. Another good day at the farm.